Hi guys, thanks for checking out the channel. In today's video, we're going to be removing this bath and replacing it with a walk-in shower. Okay, so due to unforeseen circumstances, unfortunately this bath needs to come out and we're going to be replacing it with a walk-in shower. Now this bathroom is quite tight, so we need to use the space well, so it's going to take some careful planning. This bathroom is probably overdue an update, but at this stage we are only replacing the bath, and also we're going to be installing some waterproof panels around it once we've got the shower in position. So first thing we need to identify is the waste. Now unfortunately we're in a flat here and this waste pipe goes into a soil stack which will be communal, and you can see it is already pretty high off the floor, so we're not going to be disturbing this side of it at all. We are going to be raising the new shower tray up quite high, so it's probably going to be about 150 mil, 160 mil high, I believe, maybe even a little bit more. So first thing we need to do is cap off these hot and colds. Now this hot and cold is supplied by a cold water storage tank and a vented cylinder, so they are low pressure, and currently the customer is using this electric shower. So what we're actually going to be doing is disconnecting this shower here, making it safe, and we're going to rerun the pipework and rerun the electrics and put it over this side here. So this is the current setup the customer has. As you can see, it's just a traditional vented cylinder with a cold water storage tank above. We are in a flat here, so it would be nice to have a direct pressurized cylinder, but at this stage we're just working with this, so we are going to be keeping the electric shower. So all we need to do is isolate the water to the cold water storage tank, and then we can get it drained down and start decommissioning this bath. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the bath all removed. We've removed all the tiles. Luckily, they were not adhered properly at all, which is always handy when you're doing a decommission. And we've got the walls chased out for our pipe to be installed. So because we're going to be moving the electric shower to the other side, we've just chased 40mm deep chase all the way down. It was a little bit difficult because it's almost like a poured concrete here. You can see you've got like all the ballast and everything inside of it. So we are going to be running a pipe up here. We've made it wide enough so the electrician can get their cable in should they wish. So once again, doing the job for the electrician. Now on the base, because the concrete slab underneath was quite uneven, I've actually secured a ply base. So we've adhered it with wall plugs, screws, washers, and also some sticky foam. So that'll just give us a even work surface for us to level this shower tray on, because we're going to be using a leg riser kit. And as you can see here, this is that cold water main that we have just tapped into, and yeah, put it into the chase we've just made. So what we're going to do now is we've marked out where the feet for our shower tray are going to be roughly, so we should be okay just to clip this copper pipe along the base of this plywood here, and then just run it up that side. Once that's in position, we can start putting the legs on the shower tray. Installing today, it's a Mira Flight. As you can see, we've got this plastic mould on the bottom and the holes to assemble your riser legs already pre-installed. So what you need to do is you just tap the body in of the feet, and then you can just wind in the top section just to level it all off. So it's very easy to install, and that's part of the reason we've chosen it, because you don't need to have a full sand and cement base underneath it. As you can see, it's very well supported underneath, and it should be a breeze to install. Okay, so we've now got the shower tray in position and we have just dry fitted it. So we've just checked our levels across all these feet, make sure that the tray itself is level, and now that we're happy with it, we're just adding some CT1, which is a grab adhesive, to the bottom of these feet. So that'll just help keep it nice and stable. So on the foot itself you have this lock ring here, so you need to make sure you tighten that up, and then you also have adjustment on the foot itself, so it's quite easy to get these nice and level. So all we're going to do now is lay it into position and stick it to the wall. Okay, so as you can see, the shower tray is now in position, and we've added a rubber classy seal. So this is just a rubber membrane which you run around the perimeter of the tray where your tiles or your waterproof panel are going to meet, and it just adds that extra layer of protection to make sure no water's going to seep down the edges of the tray. So not only will we have the silicone bead, we'll also have this rubber membrane to avoid any leaks, so worth putting on there. So this Mira Flight tray, this one is the safe version. It's got a textured finish, so it's anti-slip, but it's looking really nice, and I must admit those feet make it really easy to install and also to level. So now we've got everything pretty much in position, what we need to do now is just pick up this waste pipe here and just run it straight into the shower trap. So we've raised the shower tray to the height just to make sure that the waste is actually going to fall the correct way. Once that's all done, we can then add our plastic sort of like edging or skirting that runs along there, and yeah, this job will be pretty much ready for the waterproof paneling to go on. So let's get this waste installed and then we can check the traps for any leaks. Okay, so it's day 2 now, and we're beginning to prep the walls to apply the waterproof panels to the wall. Now, the wall itself is deteriorating quite badly, it's quite dusty, so we need to bond this out, otherwise the grab adhesive won't work on the waterproof panel. So we've just put a SBR mix into a paint pot, and we're just gonna soak all the walls with it, let that dry, and then we can start putting our corner pieces in and get our waterproof panels cut and start adhering them to the wall. Okay, so we've now got the wall all SBR'd, and the electrician has dropped us off some cable, so we've just run this down those chases that we've put in. So we're running that cable all the way down, same route as the pipe work, underneath the tray, back up, and then on the other side of that wall is the fuse spur for it, or the isolator. So none of it's live at the moment, we're just getting the cable in so we can actually get on with installing these waterproof panels. So the first thing you need to do when installing these waterproof panels is get your corner profile in position. So it's very important that you get this nice and level, because otherwise it will throw it all off from the beginning. Now you can pin these back to the wall, but we have actually just used a grab adhesive that came with the waterproof panels just to hold it into place, as we had a little bit of weight for the cable. So that's nice and set now, it's nice and solid. So like I say, it's imperative that you get that nice and level. From this point here, we're going to do the easiest panel first, which is this one on the left. So the only cut that one is going to have is the height. So obviously we just run the skill saw across the top of the panel, try and keep that as clean as we can. It is difficult when you've got bows in the ceiling. This one's a little bit misshaped, so we've had to sort of dry fit it a couple of times. Now that we've got it cut, we're just about to adhere it to the wall. So what we're going to be doing is, I've got the panel here, and we're pretty much just putting the adhesive onto the back of this panel, and we'll plop it on the wall like you would do if you were dot and dabbing. So where's that grab adhesive, Bailey? Which one are we using? It is Fix All. So I must admit, this is the first time we've used this one, but it seems to be really good. So yeah, let's give this a go, get this panel on the wall. Okay, that is our layout of choice regarding the grab adhesive on the back of the board. So depending on what manufacturer board you use, they might ask you to do it in some sort of wavy line fashion. So regarding the corner profile, so we need to also seal this up. So we swap from our grab adhesive and we go to our white silicone. So we would normally use clear if we were using a chrome profile, but we're using a white dowel for this one. So we're just filling the inside of that left-hand channel there on the front face. So what happens is, when you push your boards in, it pushes up against all the silicone and just seals up that corner there. So I wouldn't go too mad on this corner. The more you fill it, the harder it is to push fully home. So just get yourself a nice bead in there, but don't go too over the top. So once that's all done, we can get this board adhered to the wall, and that'll be the first panel in. Okay, that is the first panel in position. So we've pushed that fully home into the corner profile, and with the remaining or excess white silicone, we've just wiped that down and just pushed it back into the profile. So that side is now all sealed. So moving on to the second panel, which is on the left hand side of the main wall. So with these panels that we've purchased, they're white, they're PVC, and they also have this tongue and groove joint in. So what we need to do is push the tongue into the groove there, but also we need to try and get it into a corner profile. So what we've done first is we've cut the panel to size, and then with the corner profile on the side of the panel, we're actually just twisting it into location. So we're not going to be fixing the corner profile into position first, because we just wouldn't have the tolerance to push between the tongue and groove and the corner profile. So the tongue and groove side has got to go in first, and then as we're pushing it back in, we're going to put some adhesive onto the back of the corner profile strip. Then once that's in position, that'll sit nice and secure against the rear wall, making this side or back panel here quite easy to push into position. So yeah, let's get that into place and see how we get on. Okay, that's the corner profile there. So I've just added the grab adhesive to the rear of that, ready to stick to the wall once we push this panel back. This is the waterproof panel, the back of it. So we've just got our gear on the back of that now. And then again, just switch to a white mastic to put down this tongue and groove joint. So as the tongue goes into the groove, obviously that will seal all the way down, making that totally waterproof. So you don't want to put too much in there, as Bailey has just reminded me, otherwise it's going to be quite difficult to actually get that sealed up nice and tight. So yeah, let's get this on the wall. Okay, that is all the shower panels now installed. So the final one on the shower wall was a little bit more tricky, because we've got the cutouts for the extractor van, fuse spur outlet, and also the pipe and cable for the electric shower. So it's a little bit unusual, the extractor fan location. This is a room where there's no external wall, and the ventilation goes out to like a community chimney or some sort of community ventilation stack in the middle of the building. So I've spoken to the electrician, they seem to be happy where everything's located, so that's fine with me. Now we've just set up the laser as we're going to be installing some handles. So the person who's actually living in this property is elderly, recovering from a medical condition, I would say, and yeah, we just need to get some support handles on there so they can be stable whilst using the shower. So we've just set up the laser now, and we can get the handles all marked out, get them nice and secure for them. Once that's done, we can begin to get it all siliconed up and get the glass in position. Okay, next part of the job then is to get the shower in location. So we're actually using the existing shower, as it's only a couple of years old. Case is a little bit warped, but it is fine. We'll get that all sealed up. So the old rail was still in the box, so we've just put that on the wall. And then regarding the shower screen, when you're drilling into these plastic panels, you want to make sure you're pilot drilling it first rather than using them like straight to masonry bit. So this shower screen, it's 2 meters by 900, so it's just a single piece of glass, so it's easy enough for the customer to walk straight into. So we've pilot drilled them, then we've put 6mm SDS in, knocked some plugs back into the masonry, and then before we actually fit the chrome profile, we're just going to silicone these up. So anytime you're drilling into these plastic boards, you want to make sure you're silicone sealing them. So all the fixings for these we've silicone sealed, and all the fixings for the shower we're silicone sealed, and including all the handrails, etc. So yeah, let's get this rail up on the wall. Okay, so we've come to the end of the job now. The shower screen's all in. We've put a support rail on there. So it's a 900mm piece of glass. So single pane only. So there's enough access to get in, but enough to stop any splashbacks. We've just siliconed it all up with white Dow silicone. So it's all looking nice and fresh at the moment. The shower tray was a 1600, but the room was 1650. So we've had to put this like end cap piece on. So it actually looks okay, to be totally honest with you. Quite happy with how that looks. Unusual shape of the room. So thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to check out any of our others, and I'll hopefully catch you on the next one.